Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more solo leveling Ragnarok. You are such wonderful people. Thank you for showing up. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu 92 here, and welcome back to more solo leveling Ragnarok. In the last chapter, we had Suho preparing to face off against the souped up, powered up, incredibly strong, possibly S-ranked, possessed Lee Min-sung as Park Do-jin continues to control him. And one thing is, as the fighting is going on, the Apostle is not really all that impressed by Suho's overall... Wait a minute, hold on, let me fix my hat here. I got this, I gotta get my hair cut. I gotta get my hair cut soon, so ignore that. Ignore it, it's to hide my hair. It's to hide my hair, don't worry about it. But the Apostle is not all that impressed by the strength of Suho, and making similarities between Suho's power and the vastness of Jin's power, saying that I was captivated by his absolute power, referring to Jin. However, Suho decides, you know what? Why am I limiting myself? Why am I trying to do things this way because I want to be opposite of my dad, when I could be doing things this way and not limit myself like my dad did, because my dad fought by himself, because frankly, on his own, Jin is enough. Jin is enough. However, we get Suho preparing to... He hit his hair. Suho preparing to use the shadow weapons. Preparing to use the shadow weapons that he really hasn't used because he pretty much wanted to do the same thing his dad did, but that's what's catching the Apostle off guard. So let's begin with chapter 41, and we just see a whole bunch of darkness. Oh. This looks like a flashback. We get a shadowy mass, and then we get someone going,
"When I grow up, I want to be a detective just like you, Dad."
All right, because in this world, Jin became a detective. A very good detective who used his own powers to basically go up the ladder and become the best detective in all of Korea. And my thing is, for all the power that Jin has, he is perfectly okay being a detective in a police station. Not being the chief of the police station, but just being a detective in the police station. He's just chill that way.
"When I grow up, I want to be a detective just like you, Dad." "Because you're so cool."
And we see what appears to be a young Suho walking with his mom and dad, walking with Jin and Cha Hae-in.
"Because you're so cool. Can I be a detective too, Dad? Or maybe I'll be an athlete just like Mom, because that means I'll grow up to be just as strong as she is."
And we see Jin and Cha Hae-in's face, but their eyes are shadowed over. Jin, even as a dad, he still looks cool.
"Isn't that right, Mom?"
And then she just smiles. She just smiles. Some people don't have hair to hide, and he hid his hair. All right. I call you bluff. But then Cha Hae-in pats Suho on the head and goes,
"Suho, your dad and I made a promise to each other when you were born. We promised never to interfere in your dreams. You can be anything you want, Suho."
Mind you, we still see Suho and his parents, and their eyes are still covered. Jin has hair going over his eyes, and Sha's face is still obscured. And then Suho has like a little bit of a pouty face, like,
"But I want to be strong and cool, just like you and Dad."
And then we see part of Cha Hae-in's face. We see her eye. We see her face.
"You can be all those things, Suho. Just don't forget to ask yourself if that's what you truly want."
And, ooh, these are some good parents, all right? A lot of people may want kids, but that don't make them good parents. But these are some good parents.
I'm not sure why my mother's words suddenly came to mind, but somewhere along the way, I did forget to ask myself that question. I've just been blindly chasing after my dad. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I like.
And then we go back in time as we get I guess a teacher going, wow, are you drawing ants again? Oh, wait, yes. All right. It's that one dude. It's that one dude. I forget his name. What was it? It was dogs. It wasn't dog something. It wasn't dog. I forget his name. The one that was there with Suho when things started to go down at that train station dungeon they went to, and Suho basically beat up all the demons inside of that place. I forget his name. Someone will remind me. Thank you in advance. You'll never improve if you keep drawing the same thing over and over again.
If you look closer, you'll see that they're all a bit different.
I guess you're right. Your drawings really are quite unique.
Huh?
It's easy to get stuck in a rut once you start drawing the same thing all the time. But you really seem to be spreading your wings. And we see the ants, and these ants look reminiscent of how ants look when they're under Jin's control. But you really seem to be spreading your wings. Especially with this one here. And it cuts to Suho and the guy looking at the painting, and we see one that looks like it's made of shadow. I mean, can you even call this an ant anymore? I'm pretty sure he's trying to draw a shadow version of Beru here.
The reason why I acquired shadow enhancement before my father did must be because the system felt that I suited it more. I won't fight against it anymore.
And mind you, this is happening while Suho has been impaled in the chest by the apostle.
I won't fight against it anymore. I'll use my shadow enhancement skill to develop my own style of fighting.
And while this is happening, shadows is starting to swirl around Suho as he's grabbing onto the apostle's sword.
I won't be bound by shape or size. I'll draw my shadows freely.
Ooh! Oh! Manipulating shadows like an artist would manipulate a picture on a canvas. That's an interesting concept. He's closer to a Green Lantern than I thought. If he's gonna shape these shadows to whatever size or shape he wants, he's gonna be closer to a Green Lantern than I've ever seen. Jin would just have his straight up strength and power and everything he gained for himself, along with the help from his shadows, who were also strong in themselves. But Suho here, if he learns how to manipulate shadows to fit whatever criteria he needs, he's gonna be a Shadow Lantern. He's gonna be a Shadow Lantern. This is just me. I'm just saying.
I won't be bound by shape or size. I'll draw my shadows freely.
And the shadows start shaping all around Suho, and they start surrounding the apostle, who's still impaling him through the chest. And he still doesn't know what's going on. And then even Beru is shocked to see what's happening.
All the shadow warriors are being drawn to the young master's side. It's becoming difficult to maintain my shape.
And all of a sudden, Essel, because remember, her spear got completely snapped in half by the apostle. She grabs Beru before he gets drawn in too.
Beru, what's the young master up to?
And even Gray is looking like, her? And then Beru goes,
Phew, I'm not sure what's happening, but it may be that the young master is starting to break out of his shell.
And the mask that Suho had on beforehand, that's gone, because now he's getting one that's completely made of shadow being created over his face, and it's going over his eyes, and is producing markings like he would if he was bonded with Gray, but that's just coming from his shadows right now. And then the apostle's confused.
Did he awaken some hidden talent within him? It looks like things might get complicated.
I need to knock him out as soon as I can so I can use the star drop on him. And before he could even finish that thought, a sharp, shadowy blade is directly in front of his face. And the apostle immediately flies out of the ground because somehow Suho has created spikes made of shadow that almost took his face off.
What's going on? According to my information, hunters aren't able to improve the skills they receive when they awaken.
Oh, you poor deluded fool, you gonna learn today!
Or is this what they call a reawakening?
And then we see that since the apostle jumped away from Suho, that big giant wound he has in his chest is gashing full of blood, except the shadows start to seal up the wound. Bruh, this is just like when Jin fully awakened his power directly in front of the Frost Monarch and the Beast Monarch. He got impaled through the chest by the Beast Monarch, but as soon as he awakened, all of that just basically meant nothing. And Suho, he is already healing. It looks like the shadows are sealing up the wound so that he doesn't start to bleed out. And then there's just a swirl of shadows all around Suho. And then his hands that once had the gauntlets that are now broken because of the apostle, they start to take on a spiky gauntlet appearance as Suho is getting armor just like his dad did during the final fight against Antares. Bruh, already? Suho is already getting in shadow armor that's going across his body just immediately. Oh, he looks good. He looks good. Oh, he looks good.
Can shadow enhancement be used for more than weaponizing shadows? If you consider what these shadows are capable of, I'm sure I can find plenty of other uses for them.
Oh, wait. Is this the apostle saying this? No. This is the apostle. I think this is the apostle thinking this.
Can shadow enhancement be used for more than weaponizing shadows? If you consider what these shadows are capable of, I'm sure I can find plenty of other uses for them.
And while he's thinking this, he gets assaulted by a shadow just underneath him. And the apostle just slashes through the mouth of this shadow. But when that happens, an even bigger ogre, shadow ogre, is behind the apostle. And the ogre appears to hit where the apostle is, but because it's using a big giant spiked club, the apostle completely blocks it with one arm.
I told you, your warriors are no match for me.
And he just, with one quick slashes all over, he completely dissipates the ogre. But then all of a sudden, we get a red shadow? Oh! Huh? Beg pardon? Suho's shadow is turning red. It had like a black and a deep indigo tone to it, black and indigo. But now, the part of his arm that would have made up the Vulcan's gauntlets, that's turning red and black now. And Suho is stepping forward as he goes,
"This better work, because I've got nothing else up my sleeve."
Notification. Bond skill, the demonic strike has been activated.
Oh, his shadow gauntlet that he's created is being powered up by Essel. Because we see her standing there, and she's channeling the power into Suho, and her hair's turned completely white, just like Baron. And then all of a sudden, where Suho was standing just implodes. We don't even see a blurred line of his body moving. We just see where he was, and it imploding from him launching. And we get Suho, who's directly in front of the apostle, with his whole body just erupting with red energy. And then we get back to Park Dojin, who goes, "That certainly is a dangerous amount of mana. But there's no way you'll be able to hit me with a straightforward strike like that." And then it shows the Apostle slashing all over Suho. And he gets slashed in both of his shoulders. And then Park, thinking he's won. We're not even halfway. We're pretty much a little more than halfway through this right now. He closes his eyes. First mistake. He starts smiling. Second mistake. Then he starts monologuing. Third mistake. Strike! I can still use his shadow authority if he's missing a leg, right? And then it shows Suho's face. And then Suho's eyes look like they're fine as he goes, "Wow. I didn't know shadow enhancement could be used like this." As he surrounds Dojin. What is he doing? As he catches the Apostle off guard with like some shadow creature behind him that is also emulating what Suho is doing. And then the shadow creature that apparently was infused with the same demonic strike from Essel manages to punch the Apostle in the face so hard it breaks his teeth. Broke his teeth. Bah! Drop your whole mouth. Just broke the incisors, the bicuspids. I see chipped fronts it's just falling out of his face. And the punch is so devastating, it sends the Apostle flying, and it just implodes the air with a titanic shockwave. It is so forceful that you see the implosion from the mountaintop, and you see the city in the background, and the Apostle gets launched into the very same rock pillar it was standing on, looking down at Suho. It just punches him directly into it. And then the dust starts to fall, and we see the big old crater that the Apostle's laying in, after crumbling the entire stone structure behind him, leaving a big old cascading imprint in the ground from the shockwave, from what appears to be, apparently, Suho used Saika as a shadow, and then allowed Saika to use that same bond skill from Essel to then punch the Apostle. And apparently Park was harmed, directly harmed, because we see his face, and his eye is bleeding, and his mouth is bleeding. He's connected. That's what, hey, you brought this on yourself, bruh. You brought this on yourself.
He passed his skill to one of his shadow warriors. It's a tactic I've never even seen the darkness use.
And Park is just standing there, bewildered by something he's never seen, bleeding because he's just suffered the attack. Now, mind you, it wasn't enough to bring him down, but he did feel there was recoil. There was a connection recoil. See, this is what happens when you use Wi-Fi instead of an Ethernet cable. The connection's not as... The connection... You brought it on yourself! I like this chapter.
It's a tactic I've never even seen the darkness use. I can't speak. Did I lose my jaw? But I can still move my body. I can keep fighting by sacrificing Lee Min-sung's life.
Okay, this isn't Lee Min-sung who's speaking, it's still Park.
I can't speak. Did I lose my jaw? But I can still move my body. I can keep fighting by sacrificing Lee Min-sung's life force to recharge my mana. I won't be caught off guard like that again.
And then it cuts to Lee Min-sung, who's underneath this, going,
"What the heck is this? Did that brat do this to me?"
And we get Lee Min-sung underneath we see his face is kind of peeled off from underneath this. And we see his distorted face because his jaw is broken. We see his face underneath the skin that is enveloping him from this Apostle. It's like some body horror nonsense right now. And we see Lee Min-sung's red eye broken off with his regular skin underneath, while the apostle skin is over on the other side.
Did that brat do this to me?
And that's when Park realizes,
Lehman Sung? Did the shock of that last strike free him from my control?
and Park is bleeding from his other eye now.
So that brat actually pulled it off.
And mind you, Lee's jaw is still very much broken. If anyone's ever read or even watched Spawn, his jaw looks akin to that of the Violator.
How does it feel to be an S rank being smacked? How does it feel to be an S rank being?
How does it feel to be an S rank being? Okay, I thought I read that wrong.
How does it feel to be an S rank being smacked around by someone lower than you? Shut up, Lehman Sungoal. You'll what? Kill me or something? You really think I'm afraid of death? I hate being looked down on, and I simply can't stand not being acknowledged. So if it means I can take down a bastard who's been looking down on me all this time...
And Lehman Sung, with his available arm, jabs into his own chest.
Aye?
And then Lee's eye opens wide while he's trying to, I guess, clawing at his body. And then it shows Suho walking up to him.
Bring it on, you darn brat! Even if I can't be the main character, I'll steal the show with whatever role I can get.
And it shows Lee shattering the armor plating that is on his chest.
This will be my final performance. I'll play the perfect villain.
And Lehman Sung looks like he's fully gone off the deep end. Fully gone off the deep end as the pieces of the apostle's body is falling off of him. And in a very well done panel, we see from his perspective the pieces of the apostle falling off past his face while Suho is walking towards him, as if the shards are falling in front of his eyes and Suho is blocked by it. I'm giving you a good description because I'm not trying to get in trouble by showing images, because I don't want to go through that again. Suho walks up to Lehman Sung and then he punches him. He just straight up punches him because Park Dojin's control over Lehman Sung is all but gone. And Suho manages to land a solid hit on Lee. And that's a to be continued. That's a to be continued. He did ask for it, yes. He did. Also, good to see you, Hybrid, and good to see you, Julian. Hello there, like father, like son. He asked for it. Yes, he did. Okay, all right. So, we learned something new about Suho's ability and his powers. Joka knows how to transfer his bond skills over to his shadows so they can take advantage of it. So, for instance, if one of his shadows has greater strength than him, he can transfer Essel's skill over to that shadow and allow them to take advantage of it with even greater strength. He can mix and match bond skills with his own shadows. It's not exclusive to him. See, here's the thing that's the reason why this is singing to me so much. I just reacted to the Gearbox PAX East panel from yesterday. And on Borderlands 4, there's a character called Vex. She's the new siren of the game. And she has 3 different skills. One called Incarnate, the other one called Dead Ringer, and the other one called Phase Familiar. I was about to say Shadow Familiar. Sorry, this story's got me. It's called... Sorry, too much brightness. It's called... Phase Familiar. Dead Ringer essentially allows Vex to project 3 different, I guess, specters of herself that can do different things, whether run aggro or damage enemies. Now, they can be a bit weak, as one of the devs has spoke about. I think his name was Nick Thurston. Nick said that these specters can be a bit weak, but there's also a class mod that allows Vex's gear to be transferred to her specters so that her specters can do the same thing she's doing gear-wise. This is what played off in my head. Suho being able to transfer what he has over to his shadows so his shadows can be stronger is akin to that skill. Or a better comparison is the one skill that allows whatever Zane is using for his Digiclone in Borderlands 3 and transfers over to that Digiclone can take advantage of it. And those of us who have played or mained Zane in Borderlands 3 know that as soon as you put like a good gun in that clone's hands, it's over. Enemies are dead. They're paced. They're a red mist. They have gone to meet their maker. They are an X-person. It is literally like that. So seeing that parallel is like, okay, Suho's got some new tricks up his sleeve that is gonna make him be in well, can we even call it? I can't even call him a Shadow Monarch, but make his overall power as it grows even that much more substantial. It was good. It was really good. And Park doesn't understand. And what makes it so beautiful is that Suho is using a tactic that his father never used. His father never really relied on shadow enhancement for his weapons, for himself, or even for his own shadows. This is something completely new, which means that Park does not have a defense against it. And he's saying like, I'll make sure that I won't. Matter of fact, let me go back to what he thought was going to be like, I won't be caught off guard again. Because while this is happening, this allowed Lee Min-sung to gain control of his body again. Let me see. I can't speak. Did I lose my jaw? But I can still move my body. I can keep fighting by sacrificing Lee Min-sung's life force to recharge my mana. I won't be caught off guard like that again. He's saying that, but he's also lost control of his body because now Lee Min-sung is back in control. And he's completely lost his mind. He goes on this full-on tirade, villain tirade. Have you seen Dracula Dead and loving it? You want to know something? I remember watching the one with Leslie Nielsen, and he's Dracula. I remember seeing that movie a long time ago when I lived in Germany. I saw it a long time ago when I lived in Germany. And it was on TV in the local barbershop. It was in the local barbershop when I remember seeing that movie. And mind you, in barbershops back then, they normally don't have like the TV up too loud, especially if a movie's on, because they don't want to disturb anybody. I remember just visually seeing the movie, and all the moments of that movie. Yeah, it was so long ago. I can't believe I saw that movie when I was a kid, but it was in a barbershop back then. But yeah, I know exactly the movie you're talking about. It is good. And if you're thinking of the movie Nosferatu, it is good that you will stay here with your forebears, Mr. Renfield. But I like this chapter, because Suho's got a whole brand new trick up his sleeve, shadow enhancement, and unlike Jin, he's going to take advantage of it fully. So not only is he going to get stronger, not only are his skills going to get stronger, but that also means his shadows are going to get even significantly stronger as well. Because they'll be able to use the bond skills. You should watch it again. It's been years, decades even. I want to say it's been decades. I want to say safely it's probably been over 20 years since I seen that movie. It's been over 20 years. Good Lord, when did that movie even come out? Because I haven't seen it in so long. 20 years have gone by. I'm 33 now. 20 years just flew on by. Good Lord. But back to it. Good chapter. Very good chapter. And we get the big moment where Suho lands a final, what appears to be like a solid hit. A very solid hit on Lee Min-sung. And mind you, I know I said he lands a hit on Lee Min-sung, but let's not overshadow the fact that he hits Lee Min-sung so hard that a shockwave erupts from his back, and then it blows away the big old rock structure that was already destroyed when Saika, infused by Essel's skill, punched the Apostle into said rock structure. Suho's punch clears it all away just from the sheer force alone. Where is my solo leveling video game? I'm going to keep asking until I find it. Arise won't do it, because it's a gacha game, and it suffers from gacha limitations. But I need a solo leveling console video game that can pull stuff off like this. They need to get in contact with Cygames. The same people that gave us Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I'm going to keep referencing that game until the Lord calls me home. Because that is such a good blueprint for games, for stories like this. It would be perfect for it. I'm upset. I am legitimately upset that we ain't got nothing like this. It makes me sad. But I'll just deal with it. I'll deal with it. I'm coping, okay? I'm going through the stages of denial. And that no one wants to make a full-fledged solo leveling console game where you get to play as Jin and maybe in the future you get to play as Suho. I'm coping right now, okay? I'm going through the motions of understanding that it may never happen. But I refuse to accept it all the same. But this was a good chapter. It just makes me want a solo leveling video game even more. Overall, very good chapter. And my thing is, there's so many parallels between Suho and his dad that are happening for Suho sooner than it did for Jin. Because Suho getting shadow armor over himself and learning even greater facets of his own power that were available to Jin after he reawakened after almost dying to the Beast Monarch, and then awakening his power to its truest extent and fullest extent when he was fighting Antares in their final battle, such as Jin getting that armor for himself, and then having a big old kaiju Pacific Rim battle against the King of Dragons and the Monarch of Destruction. Just seeing that happen for Suho now? That's major. That means... Well, see ya tomorrow at One Piece. We'll have lots to talk. Yeah, we will. But overall, this was a very good chapter, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good day to be enjoying solo leveling Ragnarok. My goodness. But I've been droning on for way too long. I am so sorry. We'll have a chill session later on today, and we'll play some games a little bit later, and then we can just chill and talk to each other. But I'm done. This was a good chapter, and I hope you guys all enjoyed my dramatic reading of it. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you, and because I know you're coming back anyway. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!